Okay, so here we are in game 1. We've got a Meandering River that we can play turn 1. Cycle Cast out at some point, probably, because we have a lot of removal in this hand. But this hand seems good. If you haven't seen the first part of this, I did a deck tech earlier. We're playing a blue-white Approach of the Second Sun's control deck. And as long as they're not blue-black, I feel pretty good about this. Black, not a big problem if they're creature-based. If they're blue-black, it could be an issue. Oh yeah, alright, black-white I like. I don't really... I'm a little bit worried about like a blue-black deck because they can have a lot of hand disruption and counter spells, which can be an issue for us. We're just going to cycle one of these cast outs. We've got too many. Playing the tap land here. You generally want to hold the cycle lands in case you want to cycle them later. Is that green? Ooh, wow, we got a spicy brew over there. But I think that we don't have quite enough lands to be holding them yet. Ooh, this is an interesting spot. I hold up Countervailing Winds. We do have a lot of removal, though. I think I just play this Search for Azcanta. I might still cycle this cast out, too, honestly. With Seal Away, Settle the Wreckage, we should have time. We just want to try and get to an approach as fast as possible. A lot of the times, the bigger problem is not having too much removal, or not enough removal, but rather just having not enough time. 'Cause the longer the game goes, the more removal that you need. If the game just ends faster because you already have Approach of the Second Sun, you don't need Cast Out. And let's see what our opponent is up to. Prowling Serpapard. Ooh, that's actually pretty scary because we can't then counter any other creatures. I'm gonna cycle the Cast Out still. We'll put that into the graveyard, and I think... Could play Irrigated Farmland. I think I like playing the Plains, though. We'll pass. It leaves us the option of cycling Countervailing Winds and Sealing Away. I'm hoping that they attack here. I imagine that they will. They might not, because it is... If they know about Seal Away, smart move. Obviously doing that before attack. Like, they know that that Serpapard's pretty important. Okay, good. Whew. Smart of them to have played the Jade Light Ranger beforehand, though, so we couldn't counter it. Irrigated Farmland Cycle. I think we're good on that. We've got all of our colors, we're not really in trouble. And we've got a lot of lands, so we should be able to draw enough. Throw that into the graveyard. Let's play the Arch and pass the turn. It's pretty rare that we actually get Arch of Orazca online, but we might this time because we have both Search and Seal Away, which adds a little bit to our permanent count. Just gonna let Jade Light hit us for a little while. We want Settle the Wreckage to be for more than just one creature. Plus, we're gonna want to hold up Countervailing Winds. They're looking at the Seal Away. They might have, like, Thrashing Brontodon. It's pretty reasonable to have a Thrashing Brontodon in your deck at this point. Alright, we're just gonna pass. Don't want to counter the Llanowar Elves. Don't really need to cycle away the Countervailing Winds. Not once we've gotten rid of the Serpapard. The Serpapard would have been the problem. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If we play Seal Away and a land, then we'll be able to turn on the Arch of Orazca next turn. We're just going to pass for now, though. They are pausing. They might have something here. I was ending the turn, but maybe I should be a little more careful and hold up Countervailing Winds. I don't know what they could play at instant speed there that I would care about. But maybe, like, Naturalize. Voice of Plenty. No. No. That can be countered, right? Yeah. Some of the newer cards, I just, like, double-check that we're reading them properly. It's a good idea. They have to pay 7. Not happening. I guess it would have been 6. Still not happening. We're going to seal away the Jade Light Ranger. And I'm feeling pretty good. We're only taking 1 damage here. We haven't found an approach yet, which is unfortunate, but we've got a lot of card draw. I kind of like the Relic, but we'll graveyard that. We just need to find Approach of the Second Sun. Ooh. Nezahal is interesting. I could just play Nezahal here. I think that I'd rather wait. We can actually just activate Azcanta and the Countervailing Winds. So that seems like a good idea. We're not under any pressure. I don't think Nezahal is going to win. It's pretty likely they have things like Ravenous Chupacabra to kill this. And that's... I don't really want to discard 3 cards to send it in and out. That's not really our game plan. It turns on all of our opponent's removal spells. Aha, they do have the Thrashing Brontodon, which I think I'm just going to have to counter. It's too scary as a way to get back the Serpapard. I really don't want that to happen. And like I said, Countervailing Winds in the deck tech, this just ends up being a hard counter. We have 8 things in our graveyard. It's so easy to dump things in this deck. Really been impressed with it. Take 1 damage, not a problem. Now we can use Azcanta. Come on, approach. Nope, did get a Teferi though. Well, this is a little scary. I would like some counter magic. Let's get a counterspell. Supreme Will, approach, something like that. Hey, Supreme Will's okay. Pass the turn. And we're doing okay. We'll need to find an approach eventually. And it's kind of unfortunate we haven't seen one yet. We're almost halfway through our deck. We do have 3. But this will be alright. Alright, Thrashing Brontodon will get in there. I can't Supreme Will it. They have exactly enough. Attack Teferi. It's fine. We're definitely not settling the wreckage on just that. And Azcanta. Illumination, I guess? We have enough mana to probably play it. Get a little bit more than just Supreme Will. Another Supreme Will. Please approach.
Hurry!
There we go. That's the card we were looking for. So now we cast Approach. It'll leave us with... The way that it's auto-tapping, it's leaving Ipnu Rivulet and an Arch of Orazca. Not what I want. So we'll tap these first. Now what is it going to do? Highlighting everything but Azcanta and Meandering River. That's better. We can play the approach. We'll have enough mana to use both Hieroglyphic Illumination cycled and hold up Supreme Will because Teferi's ability to untap lands. Man, Teferi is so sick. What a card. I'm surprised that they haven't gotten the Serpapard out. At the end of the turn here, they'll do it. Or are they just going to get Jade Light Ranger? I'm pretty okay with that, too. Alright, getting Jade Light. That's reasonable. They do get some value off of the explores here. Ixalan's Binding. Not a card that I care about. They kept it on top, so I guess they're worried about Teferi here. Teferi is irrelevant now. We found an approach. All we just need to do is get down to that. Everything else does not matter. If they play Ixalan's Binding to kill Teferi, that's not a problem for us at all. Yep. Like, there's zero reason to Supreme Will that. It's just irrelevant. And attack with both. I could actually Settle the Wreckage this, but honestly, we're at so much life, it just doesn't matter. We have 6 cards. So we need to get through 6 cards to see that. I could cycle this for 1. I know I don't need to do this during combat, but honestly, I may as well. This is more a may as well thing. Hey, look, we even had an approach earlier. Nice. And opponent scoops the game. Alright, on to game 2. That game was pretty easy. That's just a hand that was really good and a deck that was pretty weak to what we were trying to do. This hand is interesting. I think I keep it. It's really bad if it's a control matchup, but it looks like it's an aggro matchup, in which case I'm fairly happy with it. We need some land here, which is scary. But we have 26. We're on the draw. I think it's reasonable. This one we're going to be a lot more crunch. This one's going to be a tougher matchup. In general, we have a pretty good matchup against Mono Red, though, actually. We're just going to pass. We don't really have the time to set up Search for Azcanta. We just need to use Seal Aways as much as possible. Attack with both, and now we seal away the on-crop. They have a really good start. We're just going to play this tapped. Glacial Fortress comes into play untapped, so we're not going to have time to cycle lands in this hand for sure. And almost never in the mono-red matchup here, so really what we're just trying to do is stay alive. We'll seal this away. I'd often be a little more patient about that, but since I have the third seal away, I'm not super afraid. Yeah, Hazardous is kind of the reason. Ooh, cast out. Hello. We're just going to cast out now so they can't discard cards to it. Excellent for us. This is a really, really good cast out. Ruins Glorybringer. Woof. They have a good hand. So we're going to Desert of the True, not cycle it. I kind of want a strategic planning. Search for Azcanta is just too slow in this kind of a matchup. Yeah, I think I need to Settle the Wreckage. Settle is pretty important. We just have to have enough removal. It's honestly a little tempting to take the land because we just got to make sure that we hit land every turn too. Once we hit approach, go back up to like 19 or even 15 if we take some more damage here. We're in pretty good shape. Another Hazard. Woof. They've got a good hand. I could Azcanta, but I think I'd rather just hold up Settle. Yeah, the opponent's smart. They know that Hazard is better as just being able to be activated here. Oh! Like, they don't want to discard an attack, because then they just run into Settle the Wreckage. They'll just use it to discard instead. Get rid of things like Magma Spray that don't matter. Thankfully, Search gets rid of anything that's not an untapped land. This is a super weak Settle the Wreckage, but since we already have one, I'm just going to use it. I don't want to take any damage. It's scary. I don't like it, but we gotta do it. Discard. Yep. Down to 7. Go back up to 14. I think we just need to cast this as quick as possible. They're not going to be able to kill us from 14 right away. And we might be able to entice them to attack the Hazoret now. I mean, they will for sure this turn, because they know that we don't have it. They've drawn a lot of land. Okay. Play this, and then we're just going to F6 really fast. And hopefully get our opponent to attack in with the Hazoret. I mean, it is lethal right now, so it makes sense to do it. It also makes a lot of sense for our opponent to just hold out and discard cards until they kill us, honestly. We want to go as fast as possible so they don't suspect the Settle. Come on. Just need an attack. Yes! Okay. We're still in a tight spot. I mean, we're only at 5. Every mono-red game is going to be a little bit like this. They're always nail-biters. But in general, I've had a pretty good record against it. Goblin Chain Warrior. I think we're going to want that. Could draw us down to other important cards. Cast out. Like, right now, we're dead to Ramunap Ruins and Goblin Chain Whirlers, so... Seems like a solid plan to wait. Approaches the top card. All we have to do is live. Oh no, do they have Lightning Strike? Oh, they can't cast Lightning Strike. Whew. They can't. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, we got them. We do it. And good game. Woo! That was a really good hand, and you can see how important it is to tap those settles. Opponent played really well. A lot of the times, some mono-red players, if they're not as good, will walk into attacking the Hazoret early. They did end up walking into it, but I don't know that it would have worked out better for them to not do it. We tried to trick them as well, so we did pass very, very quickly. They might have actually thought that we didn't have it because of that. That's why I was doing it. With this system, with Magic Arena, unless you're in full control mode, if you don't have anything to do, it just auto-passes for you, which makes it pretty obvious when your opponent doesn't have anything. So you can try and trick people by hitting the end turn and trying to go really, really fast, make them think that you just don't have a card. In any case, let's go to game 3. Woof. Do I want this? It's bad against the mono-red hand. Mono-red is kind of the scourge, too. It's just everywhere. About half of what I play against is mono-red or more. I think I want to keep this. The thing is that this hand actually has reasonable draws here. We can cycle the Irrigated Farmland, which is why I'm not playing it right away. We already have the island with Glacial Fortress, so I'm not super worried. Mistglow Carol. Okay, so it's an aggro deck of a different stripe. And we'll definitely cycle Irrigated Farmland. We've got enough lands, we don't really care. It's one of the reasons why I don't mind not having the, like, Countervailing Winds over Cancel. It just makes the mana base so much easier. So we can throw away things like this early on. We do need to Settle the Wreckage. Settle the Wreckage just wrecks Merfolk. Even better than it does against mono-red. Alright. Play the Arch, pass the turn, and Got some counter magic. Taking a bit of damage already, though. This is a great curve out for our opponent. 1 drop, 2 drop, and probably one of the best 2 drops. Do we want Countervailing Winds now? Yeah, they're not going to generally have a lot of land. Supreme Will has more flexibility because we can use it to draw cards if we absolutely need to. I think that makes it worthwhile. And we get to counter it for 1. We're down to 14, though. We need to find that Settle the Wreckage. I might go up to 4 if I could. And we're going to Meandering River so that next turn we can play Orazca Relic and still hold up a Supreme Will's Countervailing Winds kind of strategy here. Yep. Still not letting you play cards. Sorry. We're just countering everything because we're a little bit squeezed on mana. And we are going to be for a while. We just gotta hope to be lucky. It's actually reasonable for us to play strategic planning instead to try and dig down to... No, because we could strategic planning to try and dig down to the survey the wreckage, or like a approach the second sun. I think we wait though, just because this costs a little bit more mana, and we're able to now have more available to us, so it opens up our plays for next turn. Wayfinder. The only problem with this is, like, if I had strategic planning, I have an idea as to whether or not I get to survey the wreckage. I don't really want to counter this. This is not an amazing threat here. But any threat is also scary. I think I let it resolve. Opponent getting a little impatient by us thinking here for 5 seconds. Fair enough. They're the aggro deck. They just want to go, go, go. We're actually going to use Supreme Will, I think, to draw here, because it's just important enough for us to hit the Survey the Wreckage. Or an Approach at Second Sun. If we had Approach, that's reasonable enough to keep. Yep. We can play it. We lose a life, essentially, so we go down to 5. Then we have strategic planning, and hopefully we can get there. Gonna be tight. This is the I didn't have any removal problem. I knew it was a little dicey keeping that hand because of it. If we go 3, we can Supreme Will. And we get to dig a little bit deeper than we would with strategic planning. Oof. Alright, well, that's an unfortunate draw. I mean, we have 3 of them. Generally, it's pretty reasonable for us to see one by now. But, I mean, we had only a single seal away, right, in all of the cards? We had a seal away revealed from the last Supreme Will. Not this one, but the first one that we cast. So that's unfortunate. Alright, well, sometimes these games just end that way, and we'll move on to try and get another win. Wow, this is a hand. We need a Plains. We have this to cycle. Countervailing Winds. I don't like how this deck mulligans, and it's really weird being best of 1, because this is fine against the control matchup, and bad against an aggro one. So I think I'm going to keep it, hope they're not super aggressive, and keep it classy. Keep it classy, everybody. Let's go new. Okay, yeah, we're pretty good against the green deck here, I think. We should be able to draw down to like a Settle the Wreckage or some Sealaways to get rid of the big things they're ramping into, honestly. And we're just going to pass here, cycle the desert. Let our opponent worry about like an Essence Scatter, though. No reason to do it immediately. And we'll see if they play around that. Nope. Well, that's okay then. We'll just cycle now. Yeah, here we go. Obviously not a perfect hand by any means. Still need a lot of things to go right with this, but we can certainly get there now. And we have a sensor now. Boom. Countervailing Winds does a thing. With it being early in the game, it can probably counter anything that they play. Most people tend not to play around Sensor. I will firmly admit, I tend to be one of those people that doesn't play around it. Ouch. Think this is just a pass then? Missing land? Nope. Just playing a little slow. I'm wondering if they're actually playing things like the Pride of Lions. What is that? The one that has +1/+1 equal to the number of cats. They might be doing that. It kind of looks like they're a bit of a token list. Playing Jungleborn Pioneer. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they're an Anointed Procession green-white list. Yavimaya Shepherd. Yeah, I'd say the odds of tokenness is getting higher. We're not going to let that land. Don't really care what it was. Just didn't need it to land here. Unfortunately, we don't have a Settle the Wreckage yet, but we can use the Hieroglyphic Illumination now. No counter magic is a little scary too. But I don't think we could let this resolve without a Settle on field. It's too much damage. Getting hit for 7 here is a lot. We need to try and keep them down to a life total, like to a damage total where an Approach of the Second Sun basically time walks them or more. Okay, they might not attack with everything here either because of the fact that we can have Settle the Wreckage. Were they thinking about a pump spell? I wonder. They might have... Oh, wow, I accidentally clicked through that. They might actually have Appeal to Authority and be trying to do that, because get a +1... you get +X equal to the number of creatures you control. That would make a lot of sense for this deck. I have seen something similar to that at one point. I really messed that up, but we got very lucky. That being said... Okay. Yeah, we'll just settle now. I was gonna say, unless they attack with everything, I don't think I settle. I was thinking I would just cast out. As it is, cool with the settle. Sure. Bunch of 1/1s is not that big of a deal here. Tokens is a bit more of a problem because Settle the Wreckage gives them so much value. I like removing single creatures. But they're often not as fast as, like, that Merfolk deck or Mono Red like we saw earlier. Alright, pass the turn. We're going to try and either cycle one of these or just cast the Hieroglyphic. I'm waiting because we might want to try and counter something. Like, they've got cards in hand and a lot of mana. We might have to try and do the Hail Mary cycle to draw like a Countervailing Winds for something really nasty. Ow, ow, ow. And let's draw some cards. Please, please, please give me an approach. Right now, approach would be excellent. Seal away and a settle. Seal away and countervailing is not really what we want to do. We're just going to cycle the cast out. Killing one of these is not that important. And again, we'll pass. We can play almost everything at instant speed, so we should. We don't want to play Nezahal here. It's just not enough. Like, realistically, it just doesn't do that much. Is this... Okay, times 6. Yeah, so it's 6 tokens. The times 6 is in a weird spot. It almost looks like it's saying Tranquil Expanse times 6. I was looking at it and it's like, they've got more than 4 tokens, right? So, important to note. Look at that. Yeah, playing around the settle. Seal away one. I think I do. Just need an approach. It's amazing how quickly this game turns around if we find an approach here. We've got a good chance. We're looking at a lot of cards. And honestly, Countervailing Winds is still almost a hard counter, even with all the lands we've given them. Song of Freyalise. Okay, so do we need to counter this? Or you can actually counter this, I suppose. So... Nope. Basically, once they hit the 3rd turn, everything gets +1/+1 and indestructible and vigilance and a bunch of things, and we just die. Yeah, vigilance, trample, indestructible. So we'll have a hard time winning with Song of Freyalise in play. We'll need to Settle the Wreckage. Settle still gets it. Another Spore Swarm. Woof. Supreme Will. Might cycle the Countervailing Winds. Because now all of these tap for mana too. It's going to be really hard to counter something with it. And we just need to get a Settle the Wreckage. We need to Settle the Wreckage and we need an approach. We need to do them both very, very quickly. Essentially what we want to have happen here is to draw an approach right away and then Settle the Wreckage pretty much immediately after that to prevent them from killing us with the song. If we top deck approach here, I think that our odds of winning are really high. If we don't, well, we're in a lot of trouble. And our opponent's pausing to think. 2 mana up. I'm not sure what they could have. I guess, oh no, they've got 5 mana up. They could have the last Spore Swarm. They've had a lot of them. Man, 3 in a row has been pretty sick. That card's really good against us. Most of the time we counter creatures at like sorcery speed. Them being able to do it at instant speed around our spells is nasty. Plus, just 3 little threats is hard for a deck that's playing a bunch of seal-aways to actually deal with. Alright, end the turn. We don't really have anything to do here. Song of Freyalise ticking up. We're currently dead on board. I'm going to Supreme Will and hopefully hit Survey the Wreckage. I also imagine that our opponent doesn't attack for lethal, because if we do have Survey the Wreckage, it's just so bad for them. Maybe not, though, with that. They might wait, because now they've got lethal both turns with the Song of Freyalise. It'd make sense for them to attack all. Just 4. it tapped 2 white. Just in case. Let's do that. I don't think I would want to survey the wreckage here. However, Teferi. Teferi's not going to do it. It's 3, draw a card. Cast out might be better. I suppose that I can cast out the song now. It might have been better to just cycle cast out and try and hit what we need. Another Saproline Migration. Alright. This is where we really want Kaladesh to be here so we can Fumigate. A Fumigate ends this game really decisively. Give me a Settle. Gave me an Approach, which is kind of close. I still have the chance to cycle cast out and hit it. Pray to the top deck gods! One time! Please, dealer. Please, please, please. Yep. That gives them... Yeah, it gives them hexproof too, so that is actually the game. I do want to see if we draw it or not, though. The big thing is that it gives them hexproof. If it didn't give them hexproof, then we'd be okay, because we'd still be able to... Well, if we drew Settle the Wreckage, specifically. Because we would actually be able to target them with the Settle the Wreckage. Because we can't do that, that's the really big problem. Well, that was a good game, and looks like it's over. Ooh, well, this is a pretty decent hand. I think we keep it. We've had some pretty medium ones, though. I mean, this one's not great. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's still bad against an aggressive deck here, but I don't know that we can get a better one. We've had some tough draws here. This is certainly, if we lose now, it's the worst that I've done with this deck on ladder so far. This deck has been absolutely tearing it up on stream. It's been really good. All we need is to Settle the Wreckage, though, and we can make this look real bad. Just have to get there. Haven't for the last few times. Doesn't mean that we can't. Pass the turn, cycle some of our lands. Getting all tap lands, you can see why you don't want too many. And we may have too many, honestly. I could certainly see cutting 1 or 2. Oh! Great, my turn is just after first strike. This silly thing. So, there's a bug. Let me explain this. I worried for a second there and I had to start because I almost clicked my turn. It showed my turn and I clicked it and I was like, wait, what? Because these hadn't dealt damage yet. There's a bug. First strike damage will go on the stack. It'll hit you. Well, not on the stack, but whatever. It'll go first strike damage step and then regular damage step. When it asks you to move from first strike damage step to regular damage, it'll say my turn. Which normally signals that it's the end of your turn. It's the end of the opponent's turn, and you're just going to your untap step. So it scared me because obviously I would like to cycle a card here. Wow, our opponent's hand is insane. Did get a Settle the Wreckage though, and a Seal Away. So yeah, just in case you're wondering and it messes with you, that's exactly what that is. We're just going to pass the turn here. The Settle the Wreckage made our odds of winning here go up exponentially. Seal away a Rigging Runner. We're still pretty low. This hand was absolutely nuts for our opponent. Really, really sick hand. But we have a chance. If they don't play well and attack all in, we can Settle the Wreckage and maybe get them. Gotta hope that they don't also have more gas, like another Hazoret or more lightning strikes. Their hand has been incredible so far. Land is pretty solid to see. Please attack all, please attack all. Yeah, they know that that's lethal. So we're just going to cast out. At least with just attacking with the 1, that's okay, because we can cast out and basically blanket. We are dead to any top-decked lightning strike, though. And I guess we have the counter magic. In a decent spot. We can certainly pull this out. It's going to be tight, though. Really tight. Do we settle the wreckage this? I'd love to seal it away. I could, in fact, just Supreme Will and try. Why don't we cycle instead? Not a lot of good options here. Oh, I'm so dumb. I made a major mistake. I totally forgot about the Grommanop Ruins. We actually just put ourselves dead. I needed to settle that. Yep. I totally forgot they had the Grommanop Ruins. I looked at the mountains and didn't notice the ruins. It's hard to see some of the lands sometimes here, but I should have been paying more attention. We would have had a tough time getting through anyways, because our opponent was playing smarter on the settle. But big mistake on my part. I want to see what else we would have drawn, because we need to draw something pretty good next turn. If we settle there, they still have 4 damage, we go to 1. I would have a cast out. So we might have been able to buy ourselves more time. Yeah, that really hurts, because I made a big mistake there. Always pay attention to that. Oh, right, and that's last game. Ouch. Yeah, this is definitely the worst that I've done. On stream I've gone 6-3, 6-3, 5-3, 6-3, 6-3, I think. So, unfortunate. I had a few rough draws. I think that we're normally much better against those aggro decks. We just didn't really get the settles like we needed. The deck is super fun. You've got to be patient. You've got to pay a lot of attention. It's a lot of thinking to get through a lot of the aggro games. It's actually a ton of fun to pilot. I'm sure that the aggro decks are kind of annoyed to play against us, but as far as I'm concerned, like, it's really great. Pretty much every single turn of the game is a puzzle for us to solve, and the puzzle is, how do we not die? And then eventually, out of nowhere, you're like, wait, how do we win? Suddenly I can win this game. So it's a really sweet little list. I really think that it's a great place to start right now. I've had an incredible record with it, and I would highly recommend the deck. You can check out down below where I'll have the deck list. And, of course, you'll see down below as well my Patreon and my wonderful sponsor, inkgaming.com. Ink Gaming is going to be giving us some playmats and things like that for the Pickle Challenge. I'm getting a custom playmat done for that. So next week, I'm going to have the Pickle Challenge, which is my annual charity event where we raise money for Doctors Without Borders. I'd definitely appreciate it if you stopped on by. So that's going to be May 16th to the 20th. And so if you're watching this during the current week, you can go and check it out on Twitch. We've raised about $50,000 for Doctors Without Borders before now, and it's going to be an absolute blast. It's a marathon gaming session across about 5 days. The last day is going to be about 36 hours of straight gaming. So really appreciate stopping by for that. And like I said, we'll be able to check out some of the cool stuff we'll have up from Ink Gaming there, and you can always check out all of the cool stuff that they have in their store and use my promo code Ilyon12 to get yourself 12% off. They've got mouse pads and playmats and dice bags and all kinds of really awesome gamer gear. Highly recommend them. I will be back again next week, and we'll crush another one of these. Won't have this happen too often. See you next time.